Welcome, welcome, welcome. Coming back right at you from the beautiful streets of Katy, Texas. Tosin. I'm here with the homie Abdul, and we got the OG from Talking Tactics himself. We got the main man, the guest. He out here like tell him who you are, what set you claim, man. Just let him know. Let him know, dude. Let him know.
I'm Daniel to look 1/3 of the Talking Tactics podcast. I watch what you guys do. Believe it or not, you guys drop before we do, so I kind of steal your points, and I say them on the podcast if you notice it or don't. So
no, we don't see it like that, man.
I really respect what the young G's are doing. Hopefully, we're a little bit of inspiration for you guys, but I really respect your football knowledge for sure. You guys are younger than me, but I would never claim to know football better than you guys for real. So it's an honor that you guys asked me to come on, and and I'm happy to have the conversation.
Oh man, the pleasure is all ours as well, man. The pleasure is all ours as well, dude. Like, so man, fuck it, dude. Let's just get into it. United fans, man, y'all got some explaining to do. Cause I ain't with y'all no more. I'm just being real. I ain't with y'all no more. And I'm chilling with Nate. I'm chilling with Flacco Jody. I'm chilling with Al Khalifi. All right. We out here in Paris. All right. Cause look, man, United fans, that shit was a travesty this afternoon. That shit was embarrassing. That shit, I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain this, man. Everyone on your squad looked like bums, Pitch and Lukaku. So basically, the two Chelsea targets were the only dudes that didn't look like bums this afternoon. Abdul, man, just take it out. Just take over for me, man. I'm about to kill myself. Seriously, just.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised. Like, I don't think I was surprised at how United played. I was surprised at how we played because I thought we would. I didn't think we would actually perform well, especially looking at the preseason games. Every single one of them, pretty much. And the players, like some of the players, looked fat. They actually like lost weight within like 3-4 days and looked pretty fit today. I mean, let's talk about United, right? Because there's nothing really to say about it, right? It was just what you expected. I mean, for United, they spent how much money this summer?
75 on Lukaku, 30 on Lindelof.
75 is the most dropped from a Premier League team this season, though, right?
Yeah.
I think so. This summer, no Premier League teams dropped 75.
Yeah, it's
any player.
I mean, go ahead, Abdul.
You just look at the team and like you're struggling to find the spark. Like they're lacking a top player, and they've been spending hundreds of millions for years now. That's why, like, I think the art of actually spending, really good at spending money. Yeah, they spend a shit ton of money, but they actually spend it on top players. Like from the start of the PSG project 5-6 years ago, they've always had a top class team. Granted, they messed up by not having top coaches, and that's why like or in Europe, but every player they buy is a top class player. Now you look at United, like Lukaku is a good player, but he's nothing special. Matic, he's 29. Lindelof looks clueless. That guy looks, I mean, I used to trust Mourinho with center backs, but I don't know what he's thinking with that guy.
Yeah. But I don't know, dude. Lindelof, he out here looking like a bum as well, dude. I can't explain it, man. Like everyone got bum syndrome at United. It's insane. Like,
I don't think they played that badly, guys. At least in the first 20 minutes. There was a portion in the second half where
that's the thing, though. That's the thing. A team like Madrid, it's a 90-minute game. Obviously, when you're gonna have those moments within a 90-minute stretch where you're in the ascendancy. So, for example, you look at the Juventus Madrid final in the Champions League. Juventus first 20 minutes, they looked like the better side. That didn't mean shit in the next 70. So,
True.
like,
I mean, it's
okay, sorry.
No, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say a team like Rayo Vallecano or Valencia. I've seen them go up against Madrid, and they've outplayed them. They've played well against them. Like, what does that mean that you played well in the first 20 minutes against Madrid? It's just excuses, man. Like, that shit is weak. But
you just have to make your dominance count. I think that's basically the story of playing against Real Madrid. And the crazy thing about playing Madrid is you can play your best game. They could play 50%, and the quality of their squad can still mean that you lose.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's true.
If you play well the first half hour and, Pogba looks a bit dangerous, Lukaku looks dangerous, at least how dangerous he can be. Was that in the second half where Herrera tackles Kroos and then Lukaku runs onto a ball that he's clearly offside?
I think that was that the first half?
I think so. Yeah. It was because
that was the first half. Yeah.
Yeah, because Lukaku scored his goal on the left, and that would have happened towards the right goal. So yeah, and Kroos laughed at him like, "How can you be this ignorant?" He gave him like the most kind of snide smirk. Like,
yeah. Honestly, Kroos. I felt Kroos was operating with an arrogance throughout the whole game, because Herrera's out here pressing him, in the middle of the pitch. He's just laughing at this dude, like, "Yo, like, I win World Cups, nigga. Like, who are you?" Dude, it's just the difference in quality is there for everyone to see. Like,
but do you guys think we're being too harsh on United, or like?
Yes. One, it's a preseason friendly. No matter what you say, you won the Champions League, you won the Europa League. You still play. If it's a game in August, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, right? So United are still, getting into their preseason swing, basically. Like, they haven't played a meaningful minute yet. So it's a bit harsh to be like, you didn't beat the best squad in the world, or you didn't, take advantage.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's like you're playing the best team in the world who have won 2 Champions Leagues in a row, the La Liga winners. Maybe you could say Ronaldo didn't start, so maybe you should have an advantage there. But it's.
I mean, maybe I'm just underwhelmed because I expected, going into the summer after United secured Champions League football, I expected a huge summer. I expected big name after big name. I expected them to get a Bale or a Griezmann. I just expected to get Fabinho from Monaco.
They would have got Griezmann, I feel like, but they had the transfer ban, so that means they had to go to the secondary target, which was Lukaku. And that's quite a drop off.
Okay, true.
If you miss out on Griezmann, okay, that's one player, but I mean, guys like Fabinho or guys they didn't buy any exciting players. You know what I mean? I don't see any excitement there. It's just a squad that's maybe slightly better than last year's squad.
Yeah, that's true. Well, just going back to United, I actually forgot what the fuck I was about to bring up, but I was thinking with United, what United basically needs seriously is, as you said, Abdul, they need that game changer. They need that superstar player. But I think this is where we now finally need to transition to the guy, man. The guy, the LeBron James of the sport. Actually, no, not the LeBron James of the sport, but the person killing styles as the LeBron James of Juve, okay? The LeBron James of his team, man. Paul Pogba. So, look, you have a brand. You're probably, we'd say, the face of Adidas right now. You can't come. You can't come. Yeah, no, over Messi. Seriously,
you think
he's actually
getting more media exposure than Messi, in my opinion. He's much more hip with this generation. I really believe that. So I think others would agree too. I don't think that's a controversial opinion. But
all right.
Yeah, so that's where you were talking about the Supercup, right? And that's the thing. This is Manchester United versus Real Madrid. Okay, some people would say these are the two biggest clubs in the world. This was a fixture in world football that pretty much, helped influence a mogul like, Roman Abramovich to, get Chelsea. It's a big occasion, United versus Real Madrid. I don't care what anyone says. Okay?
Remember, like 4 years ago, or was it 5 years ago in the round?
2013. Yeah.
That match, the draw was made in early December, and all people talked about for like 2 months and a half was Man United Madrid.
Yeah, versus Madrid. Exactly. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't get bigger than that in the European tie or match.
I believe the most attended football game would have been the preseason International Champions Cup in, I think, Ann Arbor, Michigan. It was like 100,000 people in one stadium to watch.
To watch
Louis
United.
Van Gaal's. Yeah. I believe was it Louis Van Gaal's Madrid? Sorry, Louis Van Gaal's United against Benitez's Madrid.
No, Ancelotti. It was
Ancelotti's. Yeah, it was.
Waste managers. He was still shut up, but okay. I respect Carlo.
Nah, man. Ashley Young, man. That nigga, the preseason god. Like, he was unreal that day.
Yeah, that game. And Bale was unbelievable that match.
Oh, true. Man, Bale was ruining. Was it Phil Jones? I can't remember.
How hard is that? But no, like Tosin. I guess this is kind of to your point about Pogba. I feel like the Matic experiment is going to work wonders for Paul Pogba because it's going to allow Matic to sit with Herrera or Fellaini if Mourinho chooses, or perhaps Carrick if need be. And Pogba's basically going to get a free roll. And I feel like that's going to work wonders for him because it looked rusty or like kind of untrained
at the beginning.
Just like in those 90 minutes that we saw. But I think as we get into October, November, December, if Mourinho sticks with the tactic of having Pogba basically in the 10, it's going to work. I mean, I don't know if it's good enough to win a league. I personally think United will probably end up winning the Premier League. I'm just basing that off of Mourinho's second season is normally his best one.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're going to have a good in that role.
But okay, so if you're a number 10, if you're playing at maximal capacity as a number 10 or as an advanced midfielder, you're playing between the lines pretty much, and you need to be found between the lines consistently.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
So if you have a player like Darmian, who could, dude, this nigga's slower than my lawnmower. Like, what is he gonna do? You got dudes like Darmian, you got Herrera. These players are limited. They don't have that ability in them to, consistently release Pogba in that way you're speaking.
Matic can pass.
Yeah, okay, Matic can pass, but that's it really. That's the only player who can consistently probably find you from there.
I feel like Carrick could, but Carrick's 36.
Yeah, Carrick too. Yeah, but I just want to say this too. Also, in these big games, Pogba, honestly, you gotta demand the ball as much as possible. I don't care. You gotta come deep. You gotta create something. You gotta ask players to move in front of you. You gotta demand the ball as much as possible. And in these games, he just doesn't. It pisses me the fuck off.
You know what? It was a thing where
demand the ball. Ask for the ball, create. Like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like,
I was seeing Pogba would get the ball in a central area, and his first, it seemed as if his first kind of thought was either passing it to like a short pass sideways or looking for an outball to Valencia, like just basically where
exactly. I hate that fixture of our play. We don't. There's no central penetration except if it comes through Mkhitaryan. You know what I'm saying?
And I was basically like, Pogba,
and Mickey
drive with the ball, try something.
Exactly.
Don't just give it to Valencia. Just take the ball and try to beat a man and create space for Lukaku, for Mkhitaryan, for Rashford when he came on.
I think that comes back to like Pogba's decision to go to United. I think we're starting to see why, at least in my opinion, it wasn't the right decision. It's just like it's almost, I don't want to say it's unfair to him because he made the decision, right? It's not like people forced him to, but now like you have other young midfielders playing with top fullbacks overlapping and playing with other top midfielders that can just find them, and it's similar to Hazard at Chelsea at times. They just don't, like, the way United play just doesn't complement Pogba. Even if Matic plays now, if Matic plays, Pogba's gonna get more freedom. But when you get more freedom, you need at the same time you need help. You need players to play with. You're not gonna play with Herrera. and when the left winger is Lingard and the left back is Darmian, God, Lord have mercy. Like, I don't know what to say.
And you know what? I feel like when Pogba moved, Double H and I had a conversation about Pogba was playing in Juventus with Andrea Pirlo, with Marchisio, with Vidal. He didn't really have to boss a midfield. He didn't have to be, he could play within himself. And I feel like United, as you go for 90 million, you go into a team that needs a bit of reconstruction. I say a bit, but really it's a lot. And we saw this in the Euro 2016, where it was basically his turn with Griezmann to this is your French team, do something with it. And you could blame it maybe on Deschamps' tactics and this and that. But he didn't look ready or prepared to take over the France team. And it kind of goes to your point, Abdul, where he just doesn't look ready. It's almost as if it's too much too soon. And also he doesn't there's not enough help at Manchester United.
Do you think it's sometimes the player, or you think it's the system in a sense? Because
I think it's a bit of both. Because Hazard has this same problem. Because Chelsea's built around Eden Hazard, but he's not greedy enough.
Yeah.
And Pogba, he still has to develop, I think, the killer mentality. That kind of alpha Kobe-esque mentality where I'm going to shoot. I don't care if Valencia's open on the wing. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to try to do a 1-2. I don't think he has that yet.
Just to make it clear, we're discussing this we're not discussing this because of today's game, right? It would be unfair.
Yeah.
To come to conclusions using today's game. He's playing against Real Madrid, but I've noticed this with Pogba in a lot of big games. Like a lot of big games, he just like Tosin said, he just doesn't demand control. It's almost like he doesn't want to be the guy on United. He wants to be part of the system, which worked at Juventus, obviously, because at Juventus he was part of the system. Like, for example, when they made the Champions League final in 2015, he was playing as a left midfielder pretty much. So he wasn't the integral central part. So I guess maybe he got too used to that.
But that's the thing, though. You see him off the pitch, and you're kind of seeing those leadership qualities, man. He out here chilling. with Lukaku and Calabasas, man.
Don't let the swag confuse you into thinking that just because he has a kind of an aura off the pitch, that means he's going to have one on it.
But the thing is, Mourinho, in the press conferences, he said, Pogba is seen as, the biggest player in the dressing room. He helps all the young players, just stuff like that.
He's a young player himself, though. That shouldn't really be his job, though, should it, to be a leader?
He has way more experience at the top level than any of these dudes. He played at Juventus for 4 years, Yeah. Should we just do we move on at this point? But really, for Pogba, if Pogba's going to get better, I really think the system needs to be better around him, because from what I've seen, Pogba for France, I've seen more defined roles when he's playing for France than I've seen with United. And that's worrying when a guy like Deschamps kind of knows what he's doing better than Mourinho. So,
just kind of before we move off the Super Cup, I do have a question for Abdul, because I'm kind of curious about this from a Madrid aspect.
Yeah.
What were the general thoughts on Casemiro before last season, and what is the general consensus about him now in terms of like Madrid fans and their appreciation?
Thoughts on Casemiro when he came back from the loan at Porto, right?
Yeah.
At the start of that, yeah. I'd say, like, no one thought he was gonna start. Like, no one thought he was gonna start. People thought he was gonna be just another squad player. You know what I mean? Like, he played well at Porto. He actually had some good displays in the Champions League, but everyone just looked at him as just another guy in the squad. Like, a guy that, you know, some days if there are some injuries, he'll fill in a game, and some players getting tired, he'll just come on to close the game. You know, if we're rotating because we have a Champions League game midweek, same thing. But like, you're saying to the start of last season, or like?
Well, no. I was just curious. Like, how has his estimation with Madrid fans improved, or not at all, over the course of the past maybe 12 months?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I did not see Casemiro ever reaching like this level. Like, I thought he was always gonna be a player where he's a great ball winner, but he's a liability on the ball. Hothead, like not even last season, the season before. Like, if you look at the Champions League final against Atletico, player on the pitch. You look at the Clásico from that same year, he was arguably the best player on the pitch at the Camp Nou. So, yeah, he's one of those. Look, he's one of those players that always improves. Like, you can tell this guy actually studies his own game and improves. Because when he first started playing for Madrid, he couldn't pass an onion. Like, he literally couldn't pass an onion. And now you see him like playing balls into midfield, like very comfortable on the ball. Today he was like dribbling past players.
He was unbelievable.
Like,
I thought the first half, head and shoulders above everyone on the pitch. You know,
by far, yeah.
The movement for his goal looked like Ronaldo. I was stunned by it. He played off the shoulder.
You want to know what's beautiful?
It was. I was like, is this Casemiro or Cristiano?
Look at we're kind of underrating the tactical flexibility Madrid have, because Kroos and Modric, in situations, they can sit back, and Casemiro can, as we saw in the first goal, like, that shit is unstoppable, man. Hey,
we do that a lot. We do that a lot. We did that against, I remember against Napoli. A lot of the time, Modric and Kroos would be stationary, and Casemiro would be the one that drives forward, because he's powerful. Like, he's really powerful. He's explosive. He can really just bomb like through someone. So yeah, he's definitely going to be starting for Brazil at the World Cup.
Do you think Zidane has kind of given him confidence, and that's why we're seeing better performances, or do we think these performances were always in him and it was just a matter of getting game time?
No, Zidane. It has to be Zidane, because he got game time. But people, like, I'm one of those people, I did not rate the guy. Like, I never thought he was going to be a starter for Real Madrid. I never thought he was Real Madrid quality. But right now, he's one of the first names on the team sheet. And while everyone was abusing Zidane, including myself, for starting Casemiro week in and week out, the guy turned out to be a great player. So obviously Zidane has to take the credit.
Yeah, it was just a question because I saw people like, he's the best DM in the world. I'm kind of partial to Kante, but I feel like Casemiro's game is better all around.
He looked like it's
the best DM in the world right now. What do you guys think?
The best DM in the world. Is it still
Busquets?
I think Casemiro's better right now than Busquets.
Say it again. Who?
I think Casemiro is better right now than Busquets.
Is that Madriditis, man? That Madrid bias?
Could be. It's pure form. If we're just looking at form, I think Casemiro's just better over the last 2 seasons.
Kante won the PFA Player of the Year.
Clásico? Remember the Busquets in the Clásico? Come on. You know, when he's on it.
But Casemiro, Kante, I don't know. Do you guys look at Kante as a pure defensive midfielder?
No, that's the thing.
He's more of a not offensive box to box midfielder.
Exactly. That's
actually. Let me explain. He is a defensive midfielder, but he's not positional. There's a difference.
Not a number 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not a positional player. But he is a defensive midfielder.
Sometimes he's higher up the pitch than Fabregas. So it's like what are you doing near the striker?
He can win the ball. He can
trying to press.
Yeah, he's a ball-winning machine. Yeah.
You know, he's like who? He's like Khedira. Khedira is a defensive midfielder, but he's not a number 6. Like Khedira is always playing high up the pitch as well.
Yeah.
The boxes, yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's probably still Busquets. But then Casemiro's he's close. He's close. But yeah, it was just something I saw on Twitter that I'd want to get an opinion from a Real Madrid fan.
Yeah,
dude, what does Double H call Busquets? Like digestive biscuits?
I don't understand that dude's nicknames, bro. I really don't.
That shit is hilarious.
I realized Double H has a nickname for every like footballer in the world. Like,
you know, he does. He just takes off the first syllable, so it's like Mar-Drich.
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
I wish I could show you guys his emojis. I don't know how to interpret them. I've been, you know, texting the guy for like over a year now, and I don't understand the emojis he uses. It's ridiculous. Dude. It's like reading hieroglyphs. What the hell is this? But yeah, man, Double H he's my guy, man. He's funny.
He's a special guy.
Yeah, man.
So, is that it on the Super Cup?
Yeah, that should be.
Or do we want to get some more takes out the way, or no? We good?
No, that's just a bit of appreciation for Isco, but yeah.
Oh shoot, Francisco Roman Alarcon Suarez.
That's his name?
What we saying?
Yeah,
yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, because I remember like 6 months ago when Isco wasn't playing, I remember Dan asking me like, yo, like, how is Isco? Because he didn't know much about him, right? How is he like actually just being benched for Bale for politics, or is he like actually overhyped and all that?
Hey, Tosin, are you like hyping a Black and Mild? What are you doing, bro?
Oh, my bad, dude, man. We out here smoking on that Gorilla Glue, bro.
I thought you were like taking the cancer paper out of a black or something.
Sorry, Abdul. Just continue, dude.
Yeah, and then his 2017 has just been unbelievable since. So, yeah. But the only thing that worries me is what if Bale stays fit and then Ronaldo's fit and Benzema's fit. So, how does Isco play?
That's a good question. How did you? Honestly, I thought Benzema kind of had like a subtle dominance in that game, man. He was just playing off the center backs. You know, in terms of general play, I thought he was fine. I thought he was unlucky too on the slide tackle where he's supposed to score. I think someone centered it to him. Remember, the ball just fell under his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought he was unlucky there, but I thought he had a good performance overall. What did you?
Benzema underrated? Like, is the man with the €1 billion release clause underrated?
This is what Benzema needs, man. He's got to get 25 plus all comps this season. He knows he's got to get them goals in, because he's been in a little bit of a funk. He was in a little bit of a funk last season, but I still rate him as elite in my opinion. But
what if Benzema went to like back in the day? What if he went to like a United or a Chelsea instead of
Arsenal? I was just thinking that, like, what if Benzema went to Arsenal instead of Lacazette this season? Would he get 20 Gs, 25 Gs in the Premier League? I think so.
Bro, niggas like Rondon for having goals. So, come on, dog. Like, easily.
So, does like Ronaldo playing with a lot of great players or like a lot of great goal scorers, especially Ronaldo, does that actually like limit him, or that stops him from like hitting high numbers?
It has to, because there's only a certain amount of goals your team is going to produce, you know. And if one of Benzema's key traits is being a facilitator for Ronaldo. You know,
nice. Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, even when Suarez had his best season, Messi's numbers went down significantly. He was scoring when Suarez scored like 50 goals. Messi only scored 25 goals that season. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you can't score like 200 goals.
It's a lighter, isn't it? Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can't score 200 goals.
Yeah, I mean, a team only has a certain amount of goals it's going to get. So if Ronaldo's getting you 50 a season, you know, that's going to take some from your forward line, isn't it? That would be Benzema's else.
Yeah, just to like close this United Madrid talk, rumors are coming out that United are trying to like re-sign with Ibra in December. So thoughts on that?
I feel like Mourinho's trying to sign a basketball team, really. Pogba 6'4", Lukaku 6'3", Ibra 6'5", Matic is 6'4", Fellaini 6'4".
No, dude, I don't know, man. Is this we playing the Rockets tomorrow? Like, what's going on? Because this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy.
You guys legit could beat the Brooklyn Nets at this point.
Yeah, dude.
It's just weird. And you know what? Actually, I was looking at this and I was like, Manchester United are going to try to score so many goals from corners because they have so many tall players. And the ease with which Madrid had like a corner counterattack, they probably should have scored, but like I forget which player forgot to or messed up his kind of centering pass. I feel like United are going to get countered off corners with some ease this season because their players are tall, but they're not fast. You know?
And Matic isn't quick in the
so
first.
So them putting like 7 players in the box or 8 players in the box and trying to get a goal, you're just leaving donkeys at the back trying to keep up with fast attackers. It's not going to work. I guarantee you they're going to concede at least 5 or 6.
Bailly can cover wide areas though.
Yeah,
That's what makes
Bailly's
him good.
class.
Yeah.
You don't think Bailly would be up for the corner though?
Oh, that's a good point.
It's gonna be like Darmian or
it's usually Herrera.
Phil Jones or somebody.
Players like Herrera, Darmian.
Yeah, it was just something I saw.
Some
like
bums. You're right, dude. Those are
Daniel.
bums.
Do you regret letting go of Matic? Like, do you?
I need to see Bakayoko before I start having regrets.
True. Yeah,
because I think Bakayoko, based on what I saw in the Community Shield, Fabregas and Conte won't function against high level teams. You can play them against your Burnleys, against your Swanseas, fine. But if we're trying to win the Champions League, or not win the Champions League, we get to the semifinal of a Champions League, or if we need 3 points against Man City, their midfield will just pick us apart basically. And also it's the wing backs, because our wing backs go up so high. Then when we lose the ball, it's up to the midfielders to make up that space and fill and plug gaps. And Fabregas's legs can't plug gaps. So then a center back comes out and one good pass, and you have a 2v2, 2v1 with Gary Cahill. And I'm just looking at like we need legs in midfield, and Bakayoko looks like it works.
Wait, so
I would hope so anyway.
What about what Conte said? Like they asked Conte, why did you sell Matic to direct rivals? And he said, what did he say? Ask the board?
Mourinho, or not Mourinho, Abramovich and Matic have a decent relationship, right? So it's almost the Petr Cech situation where Mourinho, Jose Mourinho didn't want to sell Petr Cech to Arsenal, but Abramovich looked at Cech and was like, "You were a great servant to the club. You've done enough for us, so I'm going to let you go where you want." And I feel like Abramovich and Matic had that same relationship. So Matic could go to Abramovich and be like, "Look, I'm probably not going to get that much minutes this season, so I want to go to United." And Abramovich is head man. So what he says goes. So it was probably out of Conte's hands, he looks dejected if you've seen him. Yeah. He doesn't look like he has the same kind of fight and passion that he did last summer, which is a bit worrying because he's known to just dip. Like, if you guys aren't going to give me my shit, fuck you.
I don't.
That's kind of what it looks like.
I honestly don't see Conte staying for the whole season. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just
look, man. let's see how that left-sided, of the Chelsea. Let's see how Chelsea look when Hazard returns. Let's just say that.
This is true.
Hazard, Bakayoko. Let's just see how it looks when they return. And
Marcos Alonso.
Mark. What's the consensus opinion on Marcos Alonso within the Chelsea fan base? What do they think of him? Because I straight up, he looked like a bum. But
you know what it is? Since I think we were spoiled for, I think, 7 or 8 years with Ashley Cole, who's the best left back in the world, the best defender Chelsea's ever had.
Unreal.
Yeah. So we've spent, I don't know how much money trying to replace him. We had Bertrand, which was an academy product, and we let him go. Azpilicueta played left back. We signed Baba Rahman. We signed Kennedy. Who can play there a bit. We signed,
if Alonso,
go for it. Oh, but no, we had Felipe Luis, which would have been perfect. But then Mourinho was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna stick with Azpilicueta on the left and Branislav Ivanovic on the right. And Felipe Luis was looking at it like, you fucking idiots. Like, I'm the best left back in the world at that point.
Dude,
I'm going to go back to Atletico Madrid.
Ivanovic was getting them goals, though. He was getting them goals. Let's not front, 14, 15 at the start.
I'm still salty about that. And you know what? I slated Chelsea for buying Felipe Luis because he was 29 years old. And he was going to turn – he was 28. He was going to turn 29. Yeah. And at the time, this is 2014. So I was like, why are we spending $16 million on a left back who's going to turn 29? And that turned out to be something stupid that I probably deleted from my Twitter account.
And you saw that 2015-16 Champions League campaign, and you was like, okay, yeah.
No, I saw him play in 2014-15. And I was like, okay,
the season after.
He's real. Like, this guy's I don't understand why we're persisting with this Ivanovic thing. But, he's one of Mourinho's guys. So we just kept playing him.
So let's move on to, what are we going to do? Predictions for the Premier League?
Yeah, let's talk about the Premier League. I feel we've kind of harped on that with Chelsea. So we were talking about Chelsea recently. How do you feel Bakayoko Kante would be? Because Fabinho, Bakayoko, let me give the difference between Fabinho, Bakayoko, and Bakayoko Kante. Kante is probably as good a ball winner as Fabinho, probably better, I'd say. Fabinho is much more accurate with his passing, especially crossing the ball and just arriving late in the area in terms of end product. So he was kind of like the more dominant passer amongst Fabinho, Bakayoko, but I feel Bakayoko has an eye for a killer pass as well and can play just as, just as creative. He can be just as creative with the ball, and he's just more dynamic with his dribble. His dribble of the ball, his ball control, very underrated. Sometimes in tight spaces, that's where he loses concentration and focus, and there's a bad touch here and there. But overall, I just think the new transition is Bakayoko. He's gonna have to be more on the ball. He's gonna have to be more of a dominant pass. He's gonna have to be the dominant passer between him and Kante, and Kante more with the ball winning work. That's what I feel. That's the transition for Bakayoko now, and it'll be interesting to see if he steps up to it.
One thing about Kante, Bakayoko is that they can both dribble.
Very quick.
Dribble. Bakayoko has a neat dribble, which is when you look at the top C midfielders right now, central midfielders, the new thing is dribbling. Because when you can dribble in midfield, especially nowadays with teams pressing and all that, it just takes one penetration, and you break a team's midfield pretty much.
What was the best midfield in England last season? Easily Tottenham's. Easily.
And Wanyama can dribble.
Wanyama, Dembele, strong physical, can dribble. Bakayoko, he can make it in this league, man. Dudes are gonna look stupid. during the season. I'm telling you. Like, people are underrating Bakayoko, like, because I think he fits the Premier League perfectly. Like, but we'll see.
You know what? I feel like he would work better in a 5-3-2. I think, where or at least that kind of Bakayoko Kante, but it's contingent on Chelsea signing another striker. That way, Kante can play Michi and Morata as a two.
So how you feeling about Michi and Morata in a front two? Just talk about it.
Actually, what I saw from Morata in the Community Shield, he has a leap. He looks like he has decent control with his head. His ability to kind of position his body and hold off defenders is pretty good. And I feel like Michi's better running off the ball than holding it up. I think he's probably a bit more instinctual than Morata, which means he can anticipate the flicks and the kind of the passes from midfielders once the ball's played down. So, I feel like it could work. Chelsea haven't had a good strike partnership since Drogba.
Is there a reason for both of them looking like ham and cheese on Sunday? You know, Michi and Morata, they weren't impressive.
Michi's temperamental, and he can play. Well, actually, Michi's one of the players who looks like he's shit most of the time, but he'll get goals. You know, because he's just always around.
He's got a great goals to minute. You know, in terms of that ratio, goals per minute.
It's incredible. So I think he's a frustrating player, but he'll score enough goals. And Morata just hasn't had enough time to mesh with the team or even to kind of get in playing shape, I don't think. So it's harsh to judge him. The penalty miss, you can judge him on that. But after his overall play in 20 minutes, I think it's a bit like the kind of Supercup we were talking about, where it's hard to judge.
It's agenda 90 minutes. The agenda's gotta fly. You know what it is. It's the wild west.
I hate the football Twitter agenda.
You know the agenda's gotta fly, man. You know,
I only have two. I have three technically. My Michi minutes, get Cahill into my team, and Bertrand Traore is going to be the next great African talent. Those are my three agendas.
Okay, but Michi, man, man, he got to lay off the SpongeBob, the Twitter. This nigga has a friendship with Hazard Dribble, okay? That shit is not acceptable in this day and age. It ain't acceptable.
Hazard Dribble is like the most racist account in the history of football Twitter. And this guy is tweeting him like he's a friend.
Did you see his back and forth with Goal.com? Or like
no, I didn't. What was that about?
Goal made an article that said Michi was laughing at Morata, who missed the penalty, and then Michi was like, "Do you guys really need?" Oh, actually, he denied it, and then Goal wrote an article that Michi denies laughing at Morata, and he was like, "Did you guys really need that article?" And then they said, we should make an article about him responding to our response, and then they were kind of going back and forth. So then Michi has one. I don't know if he's the best. I don't know all footballers, but from what I know, he has the best kind of social media presence. He's just a fun guy. There was one picture where he was at Thierry Henry, where he was looking at Thierry Henry, and he was like, "I've never listened to my parents this hard." After his stitches, like,
I remember that. I think I do. Yeah, that was funny.
I mean, I think that informs why I want him to succeed, because he just said he seems like a cool guy.
Thierry Henry, this is one thing I'll give Batshuayi. Thierry Henry unequivocally said with the Belgian national team, because he works with them, he said Batshuayi best finisher in this squad by far, not even close.
And that's with Lukaku, Benteke, Origi, Hazard, De Bruyne.
So
he's got something. It's just a matter of putting it together.
That's true. That's Chelsea. We got Chelsea through. Let's talk Arsenal right now.
My favorite
the bums
club
from London, man. The bums from North London. They ain't even first in North London anymore.
True.
Hard times, man. Rough times. So they got Xhaka, who looked like
He looked good,
He looked unreal. He looked unbelievable, playing as that, that regista. He was the movie director on that day, Alexis, Lacazette, Ozil, Iwobi, I'd say. It all depends on how Arsenal's front line clicks this season, especially Ozil. I'm really interested to see what he comes up with this season because he's always been a favorite player of mine. But I can't admit that in terms of his mentality, sometimes he does come up short. But I'm expecting big things from him this season. Lacazette as well. Same thing with Alexis. So Arsenal, they do have a team good enough to be in the top 4. Obviously, they're not going to win the title. We all know that. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, go for it, Abdul.
No, you go ahead. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about Arsenal.
Me neither, dude. I don't know, dude. Fuck that club, man.
My one point would be Lacazette has to play well in order to get into the French team for the World Cup. Ozil has to play well, even though he'll make the squad. He might even start for Germany, but he has to play well. Sanchez, he's a staple in the Chilean team, but he has to play well. And then they have a bunch of English talent like Chamberlain and can we call Walcott talent? I don't know. But
nah, Walcott gotta go, man.
Yeah, but like their whole squad is basically on 1 or 2 year contracts, and they have to play well in order to get into their team's national squad. Like Giroud, Lacazette, that's going to be interesting, actually.
Oh yeah, Giroud and yeah,
that little battle there. So do you guys know anything about this Kolasinac guy?
Nah, dude just built like a lot. He's built.
Yeah.
He's built like an NFL player, dude.
No, I was looking at like, who is this guy? But apparently he was like a decathlete before he started playing football. So that's something I picked up from commentary. But and I read that he could be Arsenal's most paid player or highest paid player because he came on a free. Yeah, because
he's making like 140 or something.
Like 150, 160. Just
bro,
how free transfers work.
Is he not a bum? I don't know. I haven't seen him play, but
he looks the part. And he even scored. So
he wasn't turning heads in Germany, was he?
They let him go on a free, so I'm not sure how good he can be, right? But
true. They also let Matip go on a free. So
all right.
And he's turned out to be okay.
So so do you guys think that I'm not supposed to be asking questions here, but so do you guys think that Sanchez and Ozil, do you think either or both will stay at Arsenal past this season, or do you think it's more likely that maybe Sanchez goes?
I think they both go. I think they both go. Depending if they start the season well, they might re-sign. But maybe you'd say Ozil has a higher chance of re-signing during the season. But
actually, I've seen I read an article that said PSG bid 80 million for Sanchez. I'm not sure how Arsenal can say no if he hasn't signed a deal yet.
That's Indy Kalia, man. Don't fuck with that dude, man.
Has he ever been correct?
Never. Fucking loser.
God, I just don't like his Avi. That's why I don't follow him. I don't understand his Avi.
Weirdo. But yeah. I don't think Alexis is going to PSG this summer. No, not this summer.
I kind of feel like the same because that'd be asking for an FFP investigation. Can't spend 400 million a year.
Bruh, Halafi, you don't even know, dude. You want to know what PSG working on right now? It's Operación Mbappe, man. That's what it is right now. Okay.
True.
No. What are you talking about? Look, man, Perez about to get owned in the market. I'm sorry.
He's coming home next summer.
This is a coming of age from Halafi right
now.
He is.
You guys know that Mbappe had a Chelsea shirt in his room when he was a kid.
Oh,
really?
I hold out hope for that.
Pogba played with Chelsea on Football Manager. don't mean shit, man. You know how it is.
That's just because they have a bunch of money. I never believed that story.
Okay, so what were we talking about? We're talking about Arsenal, right?
Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal. I don't honestly like Arsenal. This team should make top 4 if we're just talking.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I have a feeling that the atmosphere at the club is just so negative.
Are you sure about that? They're going to play Thursday, Sunday.
They have a team
against a stacked top 6, at least a competitive top 6.
True.
I don't think Arsenal are going to make the top 4 unless Wenger just decides we're not going to take Europa League seriously. But he might look at Mourinho's method last year and think our best route, if once we get into January, February, March, could be win the Europa League as our only recourse to get back into the Champions League.
Who they gonna beat? Who they finna beat, man? The Europa League is way stronger this year, I'd imagine.
United
more Italian teams. Some Italian teams got better.
It's all about the draw. I mean, who did United face? Celta Vigo and the newborn Ajax.
To Celta Vigo. They could have lost to Celta Vigo.
United got so lucky, man.
Anderlecht as well. Like they played nobody, so it's the luck of the draw, basically.
I actually don't think Arsenal will get top 4. I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're gonna get top 4 because of the atmosphere at the club. Like, I just think it's so negative. And you've got Alexis coming. Like, Alexis is leaving anyways. Ozil might be leaving anyways. But if everything was going well, if Alexis was staying long term and Ozil was staying long term, then I would pick them for top 4 because I think their squad is actually pretty good, especially in comparison to everyone else. Like, that's a top 4 squad in my eyes. But I can see
that's how it looks to me as well. It just looks like a top 4 squad.
But it will
they always look like they have a great squad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The fact that they didn't win it 2 years ago is one of the biggest travesties, I think.
Losing it to Leicester, and they lost it to Leicester by like double-digit points, man, like 10 points.
This is that was Wenger's chance to win a league. It was also Tottenham's chance.
For me, that was more of Tottenham's chance. Seriously, they fucked that up.
Yeah. It is Tottenham at the end of the day.
You guys want to move on?
So moving on from Arsenal, let's move on from fucking Arsenal, man. Liverpool, man. So Klopp came out today in his press conference. Nigga got the yellow teeth and all, looking all bummy in his press conference, talking about
so disrespectful.
This dude coming out here talking about. This dude actually came out here. He was talking about, you could not name me 5 center backs that would improve our team. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck is Klopp to say some shit like that? He said there cannot be 5 center backs on the planet that could improve our team. Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, am I the only person that doesn't necessarily like Klopp? The guy.
Man, Klopp's actually shown, because in 2013 when he was with 2012, 2011, when he was with Dortmund, he was like that happy-go-lucky. He was just a happy. Everyone kind of gravitated towards his personality. Everyone loved Klopp, but since he's gone to Liverpool, we're seeing that arrogance, man. We're seeing that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like
he's annoying. Like, he gets on my nerves a bit. Like,
I don't know, dude.
I think that's a byproduct of just being Liverpool manager. Like,
or is that a byproduct? Wait. What do you think? Is that a byproduct of being in the Premier League?
Liverpool manager. It's being Liverpool. Like, Brendan Rodgers was nice at a time, and then it became about we showed great character, this and that, and then he just became annoying. Benitez, same thing.
Yeah.
I think there's something about being Liverpool manager. You might be able to turn that into being a Premier League manager in general, but totally being Liverpool manager makes you annoying.
So Liverpool are
gonna suck Coutinho.
They're trying to protect Coutinho right now. Barca are going in with a shit ton of money, and Liverpool, from as far as I know, like the sources that are actually reliable, Liverpool are just not gonna accept. Like, he's just not for sale, right? But what do you guys think? Like, are they just saying that to get a better price, or are they actually this time they're actually not gonna sell? Like,
I think it's. Go for it, Tosin.
Okay, this is just what I'm hearing on the situation. Coutinho wants to go, but Klopp feels that he will be heavily undermined by FSG if Liverpool somehow, gun for the profit, So, yeah, it's 50-50 right now. That's what I'd say. But Coutinho really wants it, but he does not want to disrespect Liverpool in any way, shape, or, in any fashion. So, yeah, that's just how it's been. But honestly, I think he goes. I just think he goes.
Wait, you guys don't feel it's kind of like a Luis Suarez situation where Liverpool stays steadfast and that he's not going to Barcelona, maybe even signs a new contract, and then next summer before the World Cup or after the World Cup, he's gone?
He's gone after the World Cup, easily, I'd say. He's leaving Liverpool. I think that's pretty much.
But you know what's so crazy? Like, he's guaranteed to leave Liverpool. He dropped an amazing season yet. Like when Suarez left, he dropped an unbelievable season, and you felt like, okay, yeah, maybe it's time to leave Liverpool. But man, Coutinho, he's just not that good yet. At least, yeah, he's not that good. And if he is gonna become that good, he needs another 2 to 3 years, I'd say.
How good is Coutinho though? Do we judge him by performances and kind of like a kind of Luka Modric deal, or do we judge him simply based off goals and assists?
Let's just say this. When Coutinho was healthy last season, he was killing shit. Let's just say that, because those are the facts against Arsenal, against Tottenham, even at the beginning of the season, against did he play well? Did he play against Chelsea? I don't remember. But Coutinho consistently against the top 4 teams, he's probably been, you could argue he's been the best big game performer,
except Hazard.
The past couple seasons, except maybe Hazard, yeah. So, yeah. I think he's probably ready for this move. He's really peaking as a player.
Liverpool's attack is fairly scary, though.
It is.
Salah, Mane, Firmino, Sturridge, if he can stay fit, which is a big if.
Yeah.
Origi, in a way. And then, you cap it off with Coutinho. Did I say Lallana?
Coutinho from midfield. But Lallana, he's out for 4 months. Coutinho, and then if you sell Coutinho, what do you have as a reference point in midfield? James Milner? Come on.
Emre Can? Come on.
Emre Can? Jordan Henderson? Jorginho Wijnaldum? Man, Wijnaldum.
No. Pause. Wijnaldum isn't that bad. Okay, come on.
Man, nah, dude. This dude out here flexing on the gram, with the belt. Nah, man.
He's the strangest looking black guy I think I've ever seen.
We can't let that pass, man. How are we letting that pass?
Wijnaldum is the strangest looking black person I think I've ever seen. I don't understand his face.
Yeah.
Swear that, I don't like black Dutch people. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I
think they all have Suriname heritage or some place in. Man, I sound so ignorant right now. That's the last thing I want to do on this podcast.
Actually, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, but
because I know France is Guadeloupe and.
Clarence Seedorf is French, but he's got Suriname heritage.
It must be. It must be something like that. But they just look strange to me. Wijnaldum being the most strange. He looks
shout out Patrick Kluivert on Abdul Zavi. The kid. Yeah, shout out Patrick Kluivert, another Dutch legend. Edgar Davids. Hey.
There's some legit Hullet.
Yeah, man. Yep, Ruud Hullet.
Yeah,
Hullet be hating on Pogba though. God damn. Hullet gotta chill, man. But
Hullet's just salty, man. I don't know why.
It is what it is.
The Dutch are just salty in general. Cruyff apparently was very salty. Van Gaal was salty. Van Basten, salty. They're just all salty.
All those World Cup final L's, man. That's just what that is.
Apparently, Edgar Davids is actually a really nice guy. My dad met him in Barcelona once.
Edgar Davids was a lunatic.
He actually played at Barcelona for like half a season really in 04, I think. Yeah, I think Laporta brought him in. The president, Barca president. Yeah.
It was a loan, right?
Yeah, it was a loan. It was a loan for sure.
You guys know that Edgar Davids was in charge of, I think, Barnet or some club like this, and he was like a player manager, and he gave himself the shirt number 1. And he played an outfield number 1.
Didn't Anelka do that with Drogba or something?
I don't know.
At some Indonesian club or some shit.
Shanghai
Anelka was the player. Anelka was player manager, and Drogba came in, and then I think he left. He realized it wasn't a serious project and went to Turkey.
But like he wore the shirt number 1. Like it was.
Yeah, that's dope.
Very strange.
All right, so moving on in this Premier League review, we got
the
Manchester City, man. Manchester, the city of Manchester. Let's just talk about the city of Manchester.
I mean, Pep has to deliver, man. Like his reputation is on the line. If he doesn't deliver, like his reputation is on the line. He can't fuck up this season.
So let's think about it though. Pep was gushing about Bernardo recently, and I think he's gonna be nasty in this City setup, man. I'm convinced again.
Do you guys know who City's gonna play?
Who knows, man? There's
okay. Let's think about a City 11.
There's too much people.
There's so many players. It's crazy. They're so stacked, dude.
Even their shitty ass defense. I don't know who's gonna play.
Stone. Well, if Company can stay fit a full season, and then they just need another defender, man. Just get another elite defender.
They can't. They've already spent like 200 mil this summer.
If they
Daniel, how good do you watch? Yeah, do you watch a lot of Van Dijk? Because
tell us about it.
I don't watch. I have no idea why people rate Van Dijk as highly as they do.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's not me like watching him in depth, and I have opinion about him. It's more of just like when I see him, he's okay, but 50 mil, 60 mil.
It's crazy, man. As an Eagles fan, this reminds me of when the Eagles got Nnamdi Asomugha. You know, everyone wanted him.
Respect the God, bro.
Dude, I don't know, dude. I don't want that. If Van Dijk comes out looking like a bum,
who does he sleep with in his bed?
Kerry Washington. We can't. He ain't taking no L's. Nnamdi ain't taking no L's.
Okay.
Nnamdi ain't taking no L's. But Van Dijk
even shut the club up. Like, come on. Man has kids by Kerry Washington. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, true. I'm not trying to disrespect the OG.
and your fellow Nigerian. Come on, bro.
Yeah, he's evil, man. He's evil. We don't mess up.
Yeah, like Van Dijk. You've got Liverpool fans and City fans and even Chelsea fans. Everyone just fighting over Van Dijk. And
Southampton must be loving it. Southampton must be in dreamland because they're gonna get 60 million again for some okay defender who was at Celtic like 3-4 years ago.
All the defenders that have come from Southampton, they look like some bums. Yup, they look like some bums. Let's get that out the way, man. Maybe all the ones that have succeeded have been the players in the front line.
Can make it.
Yeah, I think Dusan Tadic would be really good if he played for a top 16 for Tottenham. I think he'd be unreal. Seriously.
Can we make an argument that Nathaniel Klein isn't a bum?
He is a bum, in my opinion. I don't see. Well, he's average.
Luke Shaw, bum.
Yeah,
probably.
Unfortunately,
Font moved too late.
I don't think Font is a bum, but he's old. I don't know. Like
he moved
Font
too late.
So yeah,
Lovren,
bum.
Who else? There must have been somebody else that moved from Southampton. I can't think. They haven't been great once they moved from Southampton. So
true.
You have a point, I think.
So yeah, with Man City. Okay, so we've kind of talked about United.
Yo!
Lukaku,
I thought we were gonna finish this City 11. I'm curious what you guys think.
Oh, City 11. Okay. So
You have
you can play a back three, or no, let's give him a back four. Let's give him a back four as a staple. Okay, so you'll have Company and Stones in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Otamendi as a backup, which is crazy. Then in terms of fullbacks, you can play Danilo. Depends on the whatever tactical variation you may want to employ. You know, because Danilo could play as like an inside fullback. You know that shit Pep likes to do.
Inverted fullbacks, yeah.
Yeah. Not even inverted where he's playing on the left. He can just come inside.
I want Danilo to get investigated. Because I don't understand how this guy looked like he didn't even belong in pro football for 2 years.
And now he out here looking like Cafu, man.
And now he's looking like Cafu. Like, what the fuck?
Do you think it was just kind of him play acting? And like just trying to get a move out of Madrid?
Maybe it was just confidence, man. Like, confidence can just do so much for you.
It could be like, we spent, probably 30, 35 on you. I forget the number, but, you just found a manager that wanted you, and now you feel better. But yeah, I would probably say Walker on the right, Mendy on the left would probably be the preferred.
Yeah.
But apparently,
Danilo's an able right back, though. He might bench one of them. It could happen. Seriously. Because Danilo's been... I don't know, man. He's looking like that dude from Porto that we saw at Porto, man. That dynamic fullback. But
bro, because like if he ends up being as good as he was on YouTube, I mean, that's crazy because that kind of player would be worth like 60, 70 million in today's market, and we sold him for what, 25? So yeah, I think City might have gotten worth it.
Mendy, the amount of low crosses City are about to play this season, and listening to your talking tactics, your friend Carl, he makes a very good point where he talks about
the boy's a genius.
The way Monaco can cross, the different ways in which they can cross the ball, the Monaco fullbacks. Mendy comes from that school, man. I expect the fullbacks to get a lot of assists this season. Kind of akin to 2014 with Zabaleta and Clichy on the other side.
Midfield.
Okay.
This is where this gets juicy because I have no idea. Is Yaya playing? Is Fernandinho playing? Is Fernando playing?
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Gundogan's fit.
Gundogan.
Delph does not. He's not included.
No, Delph's done. He's finished. Yeah. Dude, Nasri was looking good, dog. I'm just gonna say that this preseason, he was looking good. No homo. And Silva sounded
you made it gay by saying no homo.
Silva, Bernardo could play as a midfielder. You know how Pep is, man. He can play two. He was playing 2 number 10s in midfield towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and
like Yaya Toure, Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne.
But that was one of the reasons you lost to Monaco.
Yeah, I agree. But in the Premier League, I think he feels he can get away with it. I don't think
he can play like that.
I know, but I think he feels he can get away with it against, especially if the defensive organization is there, and the recovery. Look at Walker's recovery speed. Like, that shit is a blessing for the team.
Yeah, honestly, Walker can defend.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Mendy, Danilo, they can come in and do a job. So they'll be better covering wide areas. And if the center backs can, mitigate their mistakes on the ball, hey, they could play that, those 2 number 10s in midfield, because I don't see average Premier League teams stopping that. You know what I'm saying? But
they have like 11 players for 5 positions.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. So I would probably say that I think Pep likes Fernandinho. So I probably feel like if we're going for like probably 4-3-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Fernandinho is going to be the holding.
Yeah.
And you're going to have.
You don't think he'll play 2 strikers? Because Pep's he's kind of been moving towards that a little.
I don't think so. I think
Lewandowski Muller in 15-16.
I think you might see Gabriel Jesus being listed starting in a wide position with Aguero up top, and then like he kind of plays as a secondary striker, but he's listed as kind of like a winger. I think that might happen. But then what happens to Sterling? You know,
I don't think Sterling's played well this preseason from what I've seen, but I don't think he starts. You know, once the season gets into the business end, you know, the high leverage point, I don't think Sterling starts, but he might get he'll probably get some appearances here and there.
Do we know if Ilkay's fit?
I'm not sure.
Because I feel like if he's fit,
he might play that DM role.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, you could play him and then the two Silvas, and then De Bruyne on one side. Then you either pick Jesus.
Man, that is so light. That is so light, man. Like,
but man, what if Pep doesn't win the league? Like,
honestly, he's finished, man.
He's probably retire or go manage Spain.
City are so far ahead of everyone else in terms of just pure
talent,
pure quality. Yeah, just pure talent. Like,
okay. So, do you guys think you can have too much of a good thing? Then, like, you have so much talent that it never gels because you pick and choose. Or do you think that's maybe
Pep's
only
job. Pep's got to make it gel.
That's Pep's job.
Got to make it gel.
Yeah, I was saying like it might not be a problem with attackers though, because they're just so smart they can vibe with each other. You don't want to chop and change defense too much, you know.
True.
But I could see how like you have if you only have 11 spots and you have 20, 25, 26 players who could easily play in those positions. How do you get a championship team to gel in time? You know, because it might take 15 matches for it to click, and then by 15 matches you're already 10 points behind, and then what?
Do you feel though? There's still, don't you feel like the grounds, like the basis for them gelling, kind of happened last season in a sense, because the same players are there. Like
4 new fullbacks.
True. They look good though in this preseason. That's what preseason's for, I guess. You know.
And they've added. I mean, Ilkay is almost like a new signing.
Yeah.
Because he missed so much time. You have to blood in.
Is he fully fit at the start of the season, or is he still like?
I think Pep will trust Yaya Toure as a 6 in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what? I've seen. I read a report that Toure might end up being a center back. Like an emergency center back.
In a back 3? He might do it. He's done it before, man.
He played him at center back in the Champions League final. So
I keep telling people that Yaya Toure was the best all-round footballer at one point in the world.
Yeah,
probably like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
I made the argument on many occasions that the best all-round footballer, you can have Messi being the best, right? But the best all-round footballer, someone like an outfield player who could play centrally, not centrally, center back.
He played out wide, midfield,
everywhere. Or a secondary striker. It's Yaya Toure. He was the best. I don't know who that role goes to now.
But I still wouldn't play him as a center back. I don't know about that. Like,
you might have to if
I don't think I wouldn't play him there now, dude. He just doesn't have the pace. Does he? I don't know.
Can he defend as a center back? Is he?
It's not 8 years ago, man, where he was way more athletic and with Barca. With Barca, like for example, that Chelsea tie you talk about. Obviously, you hate Barca for that moment, but you could have argued Yaya Toure was Barcelona's best player that night. As a center back.
We know who Barcelona's best player was that night. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Toys. Fucking Oborov or whatever his name is. Tom Henning.
Over, bro. Yeah, it is what it is. So let's see. We've talked. Okay, what do you guys think about Bernardo? How do you guys feel he'll integrate into this system?
I haven't watched enough French football. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Fair. I just want to say this, man. To the people that haven't watched him. This dude is a dog, okay? I've seen I've seen niggas like Mendy bounce off of Bernardo in training. He's stronger than people think, man. These Premier League defenders, they're gonna be a bit shocked at his strength.
Is he is he an athlete, quote unquote?
I would say he's a pretty decent athlete, but in terms of winning the ball, off the ball, he's very good. People really underrate that, his work rate. And on the ball, that's where he's eye candy for a lot of these dudes. No homo, but yeah, it is what it is.
So we kind of looked at every team, right? Because about Tottenham, there's nothing to look at when it comes to Tottenham. It's the same shit, right?
They haven't signed anyone either.
Yeah.
Do you know they've made 80 million in this window?
It's crazy. Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Something around that. I saw a graphic. It was like 70.
And they have Champions League money because of they're in the Champions League, so they have that Champions League money.
Wait, who? What team are you talking
about?
Spurs. Oh, are we moving to Spurs now?
They're caking, man, and they've bought nobody.
Okay, so let's look at what would probably be Spurs' best 11.
The same one they've had. The
same one they've had. And don't you think that continuity is a plus? Because
yes,
watching Tottenham
yes and no.
Okay, but watching Tottenham the past 2 seasons, I really feel that they've gotten the other 14 teams figured out in a way that not other teams haven't. They just don't lose. They just don't lose to teams in the outside the top 6. And when they play teams in the top 6, especially at home, they always gain the upper hand. So
yeah, Tottenham don't lose in general. Actually,
they rarely lose. This is a fact. So I don't see why they can't make top 4 again.
Do you know what? Do you know what it is though? I feel like there's a plus to having continuity, and there's also minuses to it. The plus is the players who are playing in the system know each other. They're comfortable with each other. And there's kind of a symbiotic relationship where everyone knows where everybody's going to be. The problem with that is your opposition, after years, will also know where you're supposed to be, and it will become easier to defend it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like they need at least one signing, somebody who can give you something different.
Exactly, man.
Somebody out wide. Somebody.
Let me tell you, man. Just get Mahrez, man. Please free my boy Mahrez. Like. Free my boy Mahrez. The guy has been like the guy
Algerian is your boy.
Oof. Actually, yeah. Oh shit, that's like the only. Mahrez is probably the only Algerian I've ever liked, man. He's half Moroccan though. So
your manager. What about your manager?
Bentaleb, man. Bentaleb.
No, Zidane isn't Algerian. Come on. Like, he is, but like no, man. He's not fully Algerian.
Damn.
Technically, he is 100% Algerian.
Both his parents are Algerian. What you mean?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But he's not like Algerian. He's
Take
like,
the L, Abdul.
Not Algerian.
Take it. The L.
Well, I mean,
I was like, huh?
The people listening to this are probably like, what the fuck? Like, what does he have against Algeria?
Yeah. No, but Mahrez at Tottenham. I don't know, man. Spurs, man. Just cough that money up. I ain't trying to see Mahrez in Italy. With Roma. If he's gonna go to Italy, he's gotta go to like a Milan or something.
Milan, Juventus, yeah.
Exactly. Not fucking Roma, man. Man, I'm really shocked.
I've been asking for him to go to Monaco.
That's what should have happened, dude.
If Arsenal get Lamar, or if Barcelona get him, if they can't get Dembele or Coutinho or whatever, and they going for Lamar, I feel like Mahrez to Monaco would be ideal. But
look, if Mahrez went to Monaco earlier to replace Bernardo, he could have given them one fire season and gone for 80 mil to another elite club the season after. Seriously,
Conte played this so perfectly, man. He left Leicester when he was supposed to leave Leicester. Jamie Vardy could have gone to Arsenal and got his payday, but he decided to stay and be loyal. And
Leicester giving him that cake too, though. I think they pay him 120 grand a week or something.
And I say that, but Chelsea are linked with Danny Drinkwater.
What the fuck is that all about, yo? Like,
Tosin, we're not talking about this. But you notice, like on our podcast, we didn't talk about it on purpose because I'm not trying to cuss my team out, so it's not happening.
Yo, what? That shit was mind-boggling. Okay, so back to Tottenham. Who do you feel would be a great reinforcement from the Premier League, or just from the market in general? What do you think of Ross Barkley? Or I don't know.
Well, yeah, I was going to give you two. I was going to say Ross Barkley and Zaha. If they could get their hands on either one of those, I think those would be perfect.
If he gets, Poch would take. He's doing so many great things with English talent. Because I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think Del Ali is all that, but the fact that he's been able to grab all these goals the past 2 seasons, some of it. Obviously, you'll attribute most of it to him, you know, his movement, everything, the way he scores goals. But obviously, a lot of that also goes to Pochettino. And if a player like Zaha or Barkley come into the Tottenham setup, I really think they'll improve tenfold. Like, because
you have to think like Zaha, that credit would the fruits of that labor would go to the Ivory Coast now. By.
The African God's blessing him, man. Like that's what that is, man. Like he's out here.
But yeah, I feel like if you could get him, that would be great. Barkley, I don't know if he's another overhyped Englishman, or if there's actually some merit.
Look, man. Barkley got that Nigerian blood, man. Look, he's got it in him, man. He's got it in him.
Carl, he always says like. Every once in a while, you can Ross Barkley does something, and you can so clearly see the Nigerian in him, and it makes him laugh. You know, it's just like that's so Nigerian.
Actually, let me just say this: every season, it's a stat from Squawka, but it's a chance creation stat. It's the chances created stat, and every season, Barkley's numbers have gone up. Now, granted, maybe that's not you can't say that he's improved as a player since then, because I wouldn't really be inclined to agree with that. But I do think that if you get Barkley with a better manager and not a guy like Ronald Koeman, who honestly he just doesn't want to be at Everton anymore. Okay, Everton are a club. Everyone feels Everton is a step-up club. And he's probably just seen his dude Lukaku go to United.
Stones
so he's
go
probably
to City.
Stones go to City. He's better than fucking Stones, man. He's way more talented than Stones in my opinion. So I don't know, man. What happens? Maybe he really needs to. I think Poch needs to, you know, put an arm around him and just take him in. And I really think he'll reinvent him.
I mean, what if Tottenham don't sign anyone?
Then they're finished, man.
Then they probably finish 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Top 4. That's it.
And we
as a Tottenham fan, would you be happy with that? Because after those past 2 seasons where you've arguably looked like the best team in the country, wouldn't you want that title? You know, wouldn't you want?
I think they'd just be happy with any form of silverware, man. They haven't won I think they won a League Cup in 2000. Was it 2008 when they played Chelsea?
Yeah.
True. Might have been 2007. I'm forgetting the year. Whenever Chelsea lose silverware, I just blank it out. But they haven't won a trophy in maybe a decade. So I don't know if they're like, let's win the league or something like that. It's probably just like, let's do well in the FA Cup or let's do well in the League Cup.
I think for Tottenham, they just want to feel like they're with the big boys now. So as long as they get top 4, they're with the big boys, then they're happy.
And like we can't discount the fact like you're playing in Wembley, and we need to see how that functions.
Oh, true. Yeah, I talked about that too in a recent pod. That's gonna affect them because being at White Hart Lane, you know, you're just more used to the dimensions of the pitch, and you know, you kind of have like, you know, your sweet spots. You know?
No, and it's also
playing
like
in the field.
You're having to drive to a new place. You're having different changing rooms. You're having a different routine. You might be eating different food now or whatever it is. The seats in the stadium are red instead of blue, whatever color it is. It's just a completely different environment. You know, shadows are different.
Just a whole different. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. It's just strange. But I guess that we could kind of link this. Sorry.
But so I guess that's the top 6 covered, man.
Let's do our predictions now. Like, or do you guys want to? Yeah.
So Golden Boot.
Exactly. Harry Kane.
Let's talk about that.
Harry Kane or Lukaku? One of them.
I'm talking Lukaku, yo. I'm on the Lukaku train, man. I think he's ready.
I think it was Lukaku, yeah.
What do you think of him versus you guys, Abdul?
He was very, he played good, man. Other than that miss. But yeah, like the first 20 minutes, I thought he was arguably the best player on the pitch, maybe with him and Casemiro.
You know what? When Lukaku keeps his hold-up play simple, he's so effective with it. When he just gets the ball and makes just the simple pass, you don't have to find the kind of Hollywood pass or the through ball. Just keep it simple, keep it moving, and get into a better position to where when the ball recycles, you'll be in a place where you can score a goal.
Good.
So just keep it simple. Put. It's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think he tries to force it too much sometimes.
So
people,
I see. I got Lukaku as the Golden Boot winner for this season. I think he's.
I'll go Lukaku. Who else is there? Because
Harry Kane. Harry Kane.
Just Lukaku and
maybe
Lacazette. Chelsea players are going to split.
Who's on Man City? Man City might score a shit ton of goals this season. So,
but their goals are going to come from everywhere. You know.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus, man, the tapping god right now. That's what he looking like.
I feel like that's the Double H pick, but I have no idea. I haven't asked him about it. My pick on the podcast yesterday on Talking Tactics, out every Tuesday, was who did I pick? I picked Lukaku, but that was kind of just to be different from the Harry Kane-ness that was going on.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Lukaku.
So we all have Lukaku.
Who will be the PFA Player of the Year?
I picked Pogba.
Dang, no, that's.
I don't see Pogba.
I went for a United clean sweep, right? So that was kind of my deal.
Pick Pogba Player of the Year, and you pick Lukaku goal scorer. Then United are winning the league, right?
Exactly.
Go ahead. That's I was very consistent with my narrative that United will win the league.
Damn.
You said that last season. You said that last season as well.
You guys know I'm never going to pick Chelsea to win the league ever in the history of ever. So, I hold hope that Conte will come through with more magic. But
this is tough, man. Player of the Year.
You know what? Actually, I feel like it could go to Harry Kane, even if they don't win the league. If he scores his 25 goals and he plays well, I feel like the English media will give it to him because he deserves it. So like 3 straight golden boots and this and that. Like I feel like they'll give it to Harry Kane.
That's a tough one. I don't think it's gonna be Alexis or Hazard. I think Hazard is coming off an injury, and then Alexis doesn't even want to be at Arsenal. So I don't think it's gonna be Alexis or Hazard. How about someone from City? But I have a feeling that City are just gonna be like.
The consensus on our podcast
13-14 when the last time City won the League One Player of the Year. Oh, it wasn't Yaya, it was Suarez.
But he didn't win it, right?
The last time it was Suarez. It was Suarez.
Oh, that was a tough season though. It was between Suarez and Yaya. Both of them went off. I would have given it to Yaya though, honestly. Just because like
Africans don't win that trophy except for Mahrez, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Because
you wasn't fucking with it when Rooney got it over Drogba 7 years ago,
bro. So salty, bro.
Hey man, chill with Waza, man. Waza was eating that season too, low key. So hey,
Player of the Year, Salah, maybe.
You know what?
Get the fuck out of here. Mane's a good shout. Actually, if it's Liverpool.
Yeah. De Bruyne. If he gets his 20 goals and 10 assists.
De Bruyne, yeah. I'm going to go De Bruyne.
People picked De Bruyne all last season, and it didn't happen. So I'm saying y'all going to take a L again.
Or you
picking De Bruyne.
Tell me what you're picking. Tell me your pick. Just say Pogba, man. I know you want to say.
Who's it gonna be, man?
Pogba. Let's go. I'm hyped. Let's go. Paul Pogba, 2018 Player of the Year. But okay, if he doesn't win it, let's just take out my my bias tinted glasses, and I'll say, man, I think David Silva could have an unbelievable season this year. I don't know why I'm feeling that way.
But David Silva didn't even win it at his peak, so how is he going to win it?
It's so hard to pick a City midfielder, don't you think?
David Silva, I don't know. I just think he has the Premier League figured out in terms of he just gives consistent performances.
Have you seen the new pictures of David Silva? I didn't know it was him.
Man, he's got
because he went for the buzz cut. I was like, who is this?
He's shaved it all up.
It's David Silva.
Cristiano too, man. Every time that happens, man, you know they're about to come in hard. Like,
do you know Mourinho does that every time? Like when he's about to go in for his siege mentality, he cuts his hair. So anytime you want to know if like Manchester United, if Mourinho feels if Manchester United are in trouble, his hair will disappear. Dang. So if you're a United fan, look out.
I'm gonna go for De Bruyne just because De Bruyne will have the assist. He'll just have the stat sheet, you know. He'll have
he'll just be in games spamming crosses, 29 crosses a game or some shit.
And City are gonna score a shit ton of goals.
They're gonna be fun to watch, so people will gravitate towards it, I think.
Yeah, I'm going De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne. Yeah.
So who do you think the manager of the year will be? Pep.
I'm
going Mourinho. This is a clean sweep on my end.
Wow, Mourinho.
Or some
I'm not saying the
Marco Silva or somebody.
I'm not saying the performances from a Mourinho team for him to even be manager of the year.
It's tough, man.
Tony Pulis?
It's tough.
Sean Dyche?
Oh yeah, because we kind of have to regard the ladder because
it's tough because most teams didn't like really improve other than maybe City. So it's like I don't know, like our team's just gonna play the same, or are they gonna
Conte? You think if Conte does miraculous?
Conte is more likely to leave Chelsea than he is to win an award. I think it's one of those mutual consent deals. Like with Mourinho in 2007.
I think if Liverpool can keep Coutinho and they can keep their squad together, maybe Klopp. Because I have a feeling Liverpool won't go far in Europe, but they'll have a good season in the Premier League.
And we'll see. So last but not least, young player of the year.
Rashford. Or Sané. Or Jesus.
I'll say Gabby Jesus because he's going to score a shit ton of goals. Jesus, yeah, I'm going Jesus.
Fair. I'll say Rashford because he's been on that Cristiano regimen and he's about to bag.
Did you see him spin Carvajal?
Bro, yeah, Rashford.
Rashford, man. He just needed to open his body up for that finish today. The first touch, he didn't have the first touch. Like, it wasn't a bad first touch because the ball was still in front of him, but he didn't have the ball where he wanted it in terms of.
I'm sorry, man, but he's better than Martial for me.
I agree.
Better. Like,
I agree.
Do you know what?
I definitely agree.
I'm stealing this point from someone on Twitter. I forgot who their name was. But when Rashford learns that he can take a peek and the ball won't go anywhere, and he can see where he is on the pitch, and then combine that with his dribbling ability and his directness, United are going to have a hell of a player. He keeps his head down way too much.
You know, Double H was talking about United playing two strikers, and I usually disagree with his two striker thing.
You gotta play Lukaku Rashford. You gotta give
people would die wanting two strikers.
Two strikers. I think they should play Lukaku Rashford. I think that would work.
Yeah,
with the kind of a big and a small.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah.
But Mourinho doesn't play two strikers, which is what I try to tell Have Hope every time. Why aren't you playing Ibrahimovic and Martial? He doesn't do it, bro.
Yeah, that's not his shit, man.
Whenever a team is struggling, Have Hope just says, "Okay, guys, we need to switch it up to two strikers."
I want the 90s.
Get it back to the 90s. The 90s, yeah. Dude. Oh man, so that's really kind of been it, man, for the podcast. We've kind of went over 90 minutes here.
Wait a minute. We have one more thing left that I think you guys overlooked. Who do you guys? Who's gonna win the league?
Oh, City. They're just too stacked. They're too stacked, in my opinion.
Abdul, who you got?
I pick City every year, and they choke. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I have to go City. If they don't win it this year, I'm never ever picking them again.
I have United.
I picked them for the last 3 seasons in a row, and they let me down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your top four? What's your top four? Just last before we go. Top four.
I had United first, City second, Chelsea third, Liverpool fourth. So I had Spurs and Arsenal under the top four.
I have United, City, Chelsea, Tottenham.
City, United, Chelsea, Tottenham. Yeah, I have the same top four as you. So I have. Actually, no. Instead of Tottenham, Liverpool. If Tottenham get us few signings, then I'll switch Tottenham for Liverpool. But for now, I have Liverpool top four. And Tottenham.
Seems like none of us have Arsenal, but we all kind of agree that they have a squad good enough to get top four. But
it's just the atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust Wenger.
Yeah,
you know, and I want good Arsenal fan TV. So.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's been it for the FT podcast. Remember to subscribe to us on iTunes, and I think we're gonna start a new thing within the podcast where we may start writing articles or some shit, where people can just give their opinions and stuff. So we're trying to expand this season, and yeah, man, that's pretty much been it for the FT podcast, man. We just want to give a shout out to Dan from Talking Tactics for coming through. Yeah. Man, shout out Dan, man. This has been a dope podcast for real. And shout out Abdul as well. We out here.
We out here, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me out, bro.
Yeah, man.
Talking Tactics every Tuesday. Shameless plug. Sometimes funny, sometimes serious, always football.
If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have the link to their podcast in the description.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. All right. Peace out, y'all. Catch y'all later.
Peace, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.